All right, it is the next day. You're probably wondering how much I made on my first day using the rental from Lyft. Now, I've driven 5 hours. Now, that 5 hours isn't actually with passengers in the car. A lot of it was just driving around trying to look for passengers. I had to pick up my son in the afternoon from camp, and I came home that night. And my last ride was at 9 o'clock, which took about an hour just to get to their destination. Now, one thing I'm happy about this is the fact that I received a lot of tips. I received about 4 tips from 4 different people, and I got 10 rides. Now, one thing I have to let you know, the fact that we do get paid different. The pay scale is completely different from what you would get paid if you were in your regular car. Let me show you. Now, instead of getting paid 69 cents a mile, I am getting paid 45 cents a mile. That is the one negative thing I hate about using this car. The time hasn't gone down, which I'm glad it hasn't, but what I get paid per mile has decreased. Now, after using this car for one day, I have to say a few things. It is a nice car. It's a brand new car. It still has like little pieces of plastic on it. The plastic that's still on the car, they forgot to take off. And like I said earlier, the miles. This car only has 114 miles already. And I picked it up with about 31 or 32 miles, which means they driven this car from the dealership to the location where I picked it up from. So about maybe 30, 31 miles. And there's a few drawbacks. For me, I'm a big guy, right? This car doesn't fit me that well. It doesn't, you know, it's perfect to get around, but it doesn't fit me that well. I'm not gonna really complain too much because I'm not keeping this car. This is not a permanent car. If I decide to continue to drive the rest of the summer, most likely when I return this car for service, I'm gonna ask for something bigger. Like, I have to ask for something bigger. If they tell me no, you know, we can't give you something bigger, I might just say, you know what, all right, keep the car. Surprisingly, no one really complained about the car. Especially about the size. Everybody got in the car, especially behind me. I tried to move the seat up several times yesterday, but no one complained about it. I had one guy, I tried to move the seat up, and he was like, no, don't worry about it, because they know that I'm a big guy in a little car, so I'm not going to complain about it. I'm trying to lose weight, that's why I'm not going to complain about it. What else? This is just a sporadic video. I'm trying to think, what are the cons about this car? Oh, the big thing I'm worried about, I'm paranoid. Since it's a brand new car, it has no scratches on it, no dents, nothing. So anything that happens, it's my responsibility. That I'm worried about. I have to be very careful with this car. When I do park, I park far away, and I get really pissed off. Even if I park literally at the end of the parking lot, someone is parking next to my car. I don't understand that. Why do people park next to your car when literally there's so many spots around your car? That's just like so retarded. That pisses me off. Like I said earlier, this car gets great gas miles compared to my car, my SUV, which is right here. This is a 2011 Acura RDX. That car gets about 18, 19 in the city and about 24, 25 on the highway. And I have to use premium gas. But this car, I don't mind blasting the air conditioning. I think a lot of people were surprised how high I had the air conditioning every time they got in the car. My last passenger on Friday, and it was actually a cool night. I could have rolled the windows down, but I just wanted to have the air conditioner on all the time. I want people to feel comfortable, especially it's hot here in Philly. It's around 95, 100 degrees every single day for the next couple of days. So when they got in the car, they were drinking, and they were like an older couple, close to their 60s, and they had like an hour trip, and 5 times they were like, oh my goodness, I'm glad you have the air conditioner on because, you know, we're sitting in traffic, I couldn't do it, blah, blah, blah. And I know for a fact that since they were drinking, they needed the air conditioning. Another con. People can sit behind me, but only 2 people. In my car, my personal car, 3 people can sit behind me. 3 people can sit behind me in this car, but it will be very, very, very tight. That's why I don't care about picking up share rides. Usually I'm not a fan of share rides, but with this car, I pick up share rides all day. The only other thing I have to complain about is the fact that this car doesn't have a lumbar support. So my lower back hurts. I think because of my posture. I had to buy like a pillow for my back because my posture, I'm sitting like this on an angle, like slanted all the time. Most cars that I've driven have lumbar support. Everything in this car is very, very, very basic. Power windows, I'm actually surprised the car has that. It has a backup camera, but every car I think now past 2016 and 17 has to have a backup camera. So I wish it had satellite radio, but it's not a personal thing. But this car is very, very basic. I don't care. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. I don't have overhead. My personal car is paid off for. It has over 100,000 miles, but since it's an Acura, it could probably run another 100,000 miles. You know, it's Acuras and Hondas. Hondas are known to last a long time, man. There's people that are driving 20, 30-year-old Hondas and racing them up and down the street. So that truck should last a long time. Before I end this video, there are a few things that did change from last year. Last year I rented a car from Lyft, and the down payment was $200. Right, this year the down payment is $250 just to hold the car. Right, and once they hold the car, you get there, and the process last year, you go inside the room, you watch a video, and after the video, you take a small test. This year, they put me in the waiting room, and I waited about a half an hour. Then I went to my car. That's it. No tests. They want me to walk around the car, make sure it's not damaged, and it's not damaged. It's a perfect car. We get inside the car. He'll go over the routine and the tracking of the car. Now, last year the miles were unlimited because you can drive literally anywhere. If you want, you could drive that car to California and back, no problem. This year, you're only allowed to drive 750 miles. You can drive more, but they charge you, I think, $112 if you drive over 750 miles. Now, you're probably wondering, 750 miles? That's off the app, right? And I even asked them, how can you track a driver if they're not using the car on the app? And they said that these cars for Lyft, maybe Uber too, but just for Lyft, are built for Lyft. Their software is built for Lyft. So this car is assigned to me, right? They know for a fact that when I'm using the car on Lyft, when I'm not using the car on Lyft. He told me it's programmed into the system. You know, there's data tracking. So they know for a fact that if I have my seatbelt on, if I'm sitting in my house, they know everything. You know, there's little quirks with the pay, but also you can express pay every single day, as long as they want the car payment first. Like this past week, I got the car Friday. I had to pay $76. Once I paid $76, which I made on Friday, all the money was mine. So once I paid the $76, I was able to cash out the rest of the money after that. If you want me to answer any questions that I did not answer in this video, please leave it in the comment section. Sometimes you guys watch this video and a year later, I would try my best to answer the questions. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time on the channel.